Good morning, traders, and welcome to the All Markets Live Order Flow webinar with Bruce. I'll be your host here, so we'll go through live market analysis and understand the order flow. On a minute here, am I broadcasting? Live market analysis and understand the order flow. Yeah. Okay, and we'll go through whatever market you guys want to take a look at. Typically, it's the S&P E-mini. That's where we'll start and see if there's any stocks or other futures markets or crypto markets that you want to take a look at. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in. Let's take a look here and what's going on in these markets. Pretty back and forth in here. In the order flow, what we see right now, well, there's a move to the downside here. It looks pretty good for follow through into 76 to 75. We started off the cash open to the upside, and then you see a lot of selling coming in here. And we're down at the lows of the day here. I'm looking for sellers to press it, okay, through this area here and try to explore lower prices here, right? So let's just zoom out a little bit more and take a look. So we're in this big range in here, but look at the sell volume in here, okay? Quite a bit of selling in here. Now, so we look for the sellers to continue to press it. More selling, or market sell orders, and less limit buy orders. Therefore, we're looking for price to move more to the downside here. Now, that's where Bookmap comes in handy because we look at these areas in here and start to understand where the limit buy orders are. We don't see a whole lot of activity in here. There's some in here. It's not a whole lot though. We're seeing more sellers. Okay, bit of flare up here in buying here. That's it's okay, but I see the sellers moved it away very quickly just recently here. So scenario one is looking for anywhere within this zone here. It is looking for exhaustion on the buy side and more sellers to come in. Well, actually, it should be all the way down to here, but in this zone especially. Because this is where the sellers took control of the market and moved price lower. Good morning, now Luis. Ushia. Good morning, Deborah. All right, so let's see the sellers right now. Pick it up here and trade into 77 to 70. Oh, I don't know, maybe 74, 75. Let's call it. All right. So that's the simple scenario number one. Okay, because of all of the selling, right? Scenario number two, okay, we'll see if this may unfold as well. Okay, this is where the sellers initiated this move to the downside, where would they be upended? Okay, well, we'd look for kind of the buyers start to come in and test back up to this 81.75. And then take these guys on up here at 82 or in a half or so, and then try to lift that market back up. Okay, so that's a pretty tall order. We'll look for it in here, but we're just kind of going back and forth. In fact, at the moment here. Right, so here come some buyers. They're going to try to lift it up into 82 and a half. Right. However, again, from this point onward, in this time frame, the sellers are in control. All right. So we're looking for, again, even on this move here by buyers, we'll see a few different scenarios in here that we're looking for. One is that the selling absorption, loss of supply here, and then aggressive sellers to come in and drive it right back down to the bottom of the range or the swing low of the day. All right, so that would be, again, scenario number one is what we're going with because of this volume in here and this move. All right. All right, scenario number 2 would be, and we'll look for either of these, and we'll keep an open mind. It would be that we get buyers back up here. These guys pull that liquidity at 82, and we see more on the bid at a higher level, and we find big green dots to take these guys on up here at 82.5 or so. All right, so one or the other is what we're looking for. Okay, and it's this zone in here where we're going to get our answer. Okay, looks good right now for sellers to take it down. Okay, we kind of breached up above, but we're back in this range in here. So let's see. We're looking for sellers right around this 80 level, and then for them to move it down to 77. Okay, we have them on the offer here. We see sellers on the offer up here. What is the reaction? Okay, we're finding sellers. All right, sellers, then let's see you try to move this market now down to the buyers at 77. Okay, I've got market pulse up here, 2 different versions of it, and we'll cover that as well. On YouTube, you can hear that. That's the support and resistance one, which will be renamed. Okay, well, this is really kind of pretty poor order flow, to be honest. Like down, we're looking for the sellers to drop it into 77, and look at the poor quality of selling in here. Right, that's not what we want to see. We want to see them up in here. Like this kind of selling in here looks pretty good. More would be better. Big red dots moving that market down. Okay, so that's that, and we're back up in the middle of range. In fact, look at the selling down here. Okay, there's almost none, very, very little. Okay, this is not what we're looking for. All right, so we're not seeing a high probable move here at this time. Okay, in fact, we're seeing buyers up in here a little bit up in here. We're just not seeing much here. They made a lower high, and now we may get our sellers now, but we need to see them down here. We need to see the commitment here, and I want to see this liquidity come back down as well, and I want to see these guys pull, and they are at 78. Okay, but see how it's dark in here. Watch how buyers can very quickly move it back up. Right, so if we're open to that risk, then it might happen. Right, so we would stay away from it. Okay, well, we finally got our move in here to 77, but like I said, due to this lack of selling here, and the selling finally started to pick up here. I just didn't like it. Did not have all the pieces we're looking for the potential to reach these areas, 77 and 74. Okay, now it looks like the sellers want to move it here. Let's take a look though. So you can see that basically as we go through these things in here in the order flow, looking for something a higher probable or probability here of it working out is there's some opportunity. I wouldn't say there are opportunities. There's a lot of things we kind of pass on until we have an alignment. Okay, in the auction. The auction is telling us something. Okay, and then we're looking for that something to give us the insight to the move to a certain area. Good morning, Harry Manitra. All right. So anyway, we are at lows for the cash session here, okay, and we do see some pretty good selling here. Okay, how many points is this? 78 down to 76. That's 2.5 points. That's not enough. this commitment in here. They were looking for commitment. And if sellers only commit to like a 2.5 point move in here, well, then that's not really moving the market. And it can get upended, right up here. And we could get buyers back up above that. Okay, so is it worth the risk if this is not a really strong move here? Okay, which kind of brings us to, well, let me look over in Discord and see what's happening over there. Everybody. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. You guys in Discord, you are not seeing my screen. Okay. All right, there we go. Sorry, guys. I should have checked on earlier. Okay. Now you can see it, though. Yeah, okay. So anyway, I was just talking about this move in here. Yeah, thanks, Luis. This, yeah, the sellers are in control here from this point on, right? That's something we noted, but we just didn't see anything really substantial in here. We did have the rejection here, and we did see some selling in here. This looked good in here, but not down here. It's not what we're looking for. And then we finally got another retest, and then we did get sellers for the follow through to the downside. But it hasn't been that convincing, even this move down below. Okay, it's kind of taking its time. Look at the selling looks good here. Okay, pretty strong selling. It's matching this in here. However, look at the points move in here. All right, it's not so strong. All right, so it might be absorption on the other side. It might be just maybe large iceberg orders, or there's just a lot of back and forth in here. All right, so we're not seeing a convincing move here. So then the question is, do you want to put the risk on if you're not too convinced by these selling, the seller's condition in here? All right. So that brings me back to this point in here that I want to go over. If we go to bookmap.com, we put together this strategy for you, and we're putting together a lot more, right? So go to the Learning Center. So go from bookmap.com here to the More button to the Learning Center. In here, there's all sorts of videos on how to get started with Bookmap and get connected. And then the market mechanics video is what we go through all day long in these webinars. But strategies and setups in here, a new course, okay, based on momentum strategies and continuation patterns. Okay, we have one continuation pattern in here, the bull flag setup, and what to look for. In a diagram form, we have it here very simply diagrammatically laid out for you so you can understand what you're looking for. And then we also have it here in making that transition from the diagram to seeing it in Bookmap. And then finally, the third video here, which is the most important one, is the execution. Okay, so you move from understanding it in concept and diagram, understanding and seeing it in Bookmap, and then how to execute it, what to look for. And we have this checklist in here. That should be very helpful for you. Okay, the checklist should really make the difference in here. Right. So, in fact, let me show you underneath here, resources. There's a flag pattern checklist here. Click on that, and you have this Excel spreadsheet. All right. In here, you can go through and look for certain things, identifying trap traders and developing scenarios. So we were just developing scenarios in this webinar. And this in the consolidation area, and then the impulse move, the pullback, the entry, second impulse move, and target and exit, what to look for. All right. So yeah, I highly recommend that you come here and check it out. I'll put the link here into the chat for you. Okay, and here come our buyers. Now look where our buyers are coming in. Okay, now that means that all of these sellers in here can get upended. So let's see, is there enough buying pressure now? Are they bidding up underneath? Did they pull here? Okay, well, we're getting a bit of a pullback now. All right, so this is actually could turn into a nice flag pattern for us. Okay, we can look at all of this in here as being trapped. Okay, so now we're looking for the second move, and we're looking for buyers to start to come in somewhere around, well, let's just see here, somewhere around up in here, 80 or so. Okay, now we're looking for a flip of the order book in here. There are buyers. Okay, they're on the bid here a bit. Okay, and we don't see too much in the order book here. Okay, they're on the bid here. This is good. Buyers, all right, buyers, lift it up into 82 to 83 here is what we're looking for. Okay, this would be our flag pattern. All right, now why we went through this whole order flow reading in here. Okay, and what we're looking for first is to identify traps. Okay, so this is a lot of selling in here. So we're looking for them to be trapped and them to be buyers up into here. Now the buyers have pulled it away here and made the first move, and now we're kind of going back and forth in here. Okay, there we go. Looking right now for these buyers in here to lift it up into here, 82 to 83. Okay, the bid looks pretty good. We've got that on our side, and we have a target here as well. We've gone through this scenario. This is what we're looking for, 82 to 83. Okay, now we're just waiting for those buyers to show up. Okay, they started to show up in here. We got another rotation though. Okay, here they come again. Okay, buyers, let's see it. You got it. Okay, we can look at some measured moves in here as well. Something like this to something like that. Okay, so 82 would be our first stop. Rob, any questions on this? Do you see it? Or let's see who else is in here. Okay, we got one more move to the downside here. Still looking for it to play out. Deborah, any questions on this in here? Okay, there's 82. Now let's go up here and take a look here. I mean, 82 is our target, right? But I think there's still some more buying pressure in here. I think we can look for maybe 84. 83, 84, right? Is taking these guys on up here. So yeah, let's see if they can do that now. We've got enough buying pressure in here to do that. Okay, so we're still looking here. There's 83. Okay, now this was tricky in here, this part about your trade execution and your trade management is tricky. Okay, we're still looking for this to work though. And there we go. Okay. All right. So let's go. We'll go over this down here because this will help give some insight here. First off, let me see if there's any other questions. Okay. And we'll go through the checklist in here as well. Okay, and what we're looking for. Right. Let's see here. Rob, any questions on this? I mean, other than I know we're going to have questions here, and I will address it down here. Okay, but you see how we're putting these things on our side. This is really the key. We want to put as much on our side as we can, and how do we do that? Is by everything here behind us. Everything. Well, let's start here. All of this behind us, we want on our side as much as we can. Okay. Now, basically, it's up to here is where we as much as we can get on our side, to be honest. And we have to look for something more up at 84. Okay. It is this in here that we're looking for the buyers to test into. All right. So, and this is a really important element because we don't have to myopically look at these little areas in here and then look for the order flow to shift and change and go up into, you know, here or there or wherever. What we want to do instead is we want to read the recent order flow. Okay, depending on your time frame, it doesn't matter, but in the recent order flow and where we might have an edge, and put them as many like players that in the auction that we can put behind us here, like to support this outcome, this view, and why. All right, so that's really important in here. Okay, all of these check marks, checklists, and all that kind of stuff, it is all in here. Okay, in this setups and strategies area right here. Okay, so you know, go through these videos and then go through that checklist, and then this, we've got another one that we can put in our back pocket now, and this is something that we can back test, right? And look for it again and again and again. All right. So and this will give us confidence. All right. So Rob, like for example, once we see enough of these in here, it just comes down to execution. Okay. You've check marked you know what it is you're looking for. You have the players on your side. Okay. Now it might not work out, right? This one did, and it's over. It achieved its target. Okay, and maybe the first target is right here, and we got more out of it here, but we just came up to the swing up here, and that's it. Right. So we were looking for more out of it, a little bit more. Okay, but here's what we had on our side. First off, we noted, and we went through this order flow reading in here early on in the webinar. Here's 10 a.m. Sellers move the market, okay, and then we're looking for them to continue to move the market. And then we had our back and forth in here, and then we went through, well, you know, like looking for the kind of getting an answer up here, and then we saw that it rejected up here. We're looking for sellers in here. We got sellers in here to test down here, but that's it. We didn't get sellers here. Okay. We did get buyers to move it back up, and they made a lower high in here. Okay, I do not see much in here. There's some selling coming in here. It looks okay, but it's really not until down here do we see the selling, and that's not a good area to sell, to look for the move lower. Okay, now a lot of times it works out. We didn't have pieces though in here. We didn't have the offer following down. These guys kind of pulled, kind of stayed in the in the market in these two areas here, okay, on the bid. We kind of had pieces in here looking for that to go lower, but that's, you know, hindsight. Okay, in real time we went through this, and we kind of shied away. We're just thinking, well, you know, no, we don't have all the pieces. And then we noted the auction process in here. Lots of selling. Okay, lots of selling. However, they're not really moving the market much. You know, we noted that it was like 2.5 points in here, S&P points. That's not too convincing. And then we still see more selling down here. It's just not too convincing, right? And then what we have is the buyers come back in and start to move this away, and we found buyers in here. Okay, that's when we identified the selling in here as the trap. Okay, and we're looking for, and we saw this move unfolded here. Now we're looking for our pullback move, and we're looking for our extension. Right now, this is tricky in here. It is. Right now, and this can kind of shatter some confidence in here, because at this point in here, buyers have it. They can move it. They kind of exhaust out up here. Sellers come in and come back down to the bottom of the range in here. And you know, this stop was hunted down here below this range in here. And in fact, let's turn on the stops and icebergs. Stops. Okay, and not too many actually. Not too many were hit here. That's kind of surprising. But we can also read the strength in these moves in here, and they're not that great. I mean, it is strong, stronger relative to other areas. Okay, that's important. We want that relative strength in here by the buyers. Okay, and we do have some. Okay, it could be better. The points move could be better as well. Right, but we do have. And we'll go through the checklist. In fact, you guys, like, you know, development was kind enough to develop a very rudimentary, and we'll work on it a little bit. But a Bookmap checklist in here is going to be called setups checklist. But we have the same elements here from that spreadsheet. We have it in this little add-on in here. And you can score it as well. Okay, so we go through the checklist in here and deselect them all, and go through one at a time in here. Okay, so this will make it higher probability, right? So what do we have in here? We identified trapped traders in here, trapped buyers or sellers? Yeah, we did. Okay, it looked pretty good too. So I would give that an 8. Could be better. Then we developed scenarios on what might unfold, and that was pretty good. I'd give it like maybe like a 6 or so out of 10. The large price movement, do we have that? Not really, right? It's not that strong. Pulling away from this consolidation area in here, that's not so great. So maybe a 7 on that. What about the strong relative volume in here? Hey, we just covered it. We give that like an 8. It's not bad, right? So that's okay. What about absorption of high liquidity on the offer up in here? Yeah, we got that. Okay, so that did unfold, and give that an 8. Do we get a minor retracement? Yeah, this is where it gets tricky. Yes, we do have kind of a minor retracement in here. It's of this move in here, it's roughly about 50%. Okay, so you can see the move back down below here, and yeah, I'll get to that. That's the sore point here. So we did have a kind of minor retracement, but it wasn't that good. Okay, maybe like a 7 or yeah, 7. Let's call it. Low volume on that, not so much. You know, I would give that maybe a like a 7 as well. Okay, maybe even a 6. Hey, what about bidding higher? No, we didn't have that. Okay, so we're going to give that a. We had a little bit in the book here, a little bit. I don't know. I'm going to give it like a 5 or a 6. And then large price movement. Did we have that? Not really, not that strong of a move, right? So you can see like we're not really getting a really high probability trade here. Okay, good morning, McLoco. Welcome back. Then relative strong volume on the second impulse move. It started to come in. Yeah, it looked pretty decent relative to the first one. Looks pretty good, right? Okay, so we've got some of that. Okay, I'd still maybe an 8, 7 or 8. Relative strong volume as well as 7 or 8. And then absorption up in these areas up in here. Yeah, we finally did get that as well. Okay, 7 or 8. So we have like a 7.18. We need an 8 or higher in here. So it doesn't really fit everything for a high probability trade. Understand, Rob, like how we can filter away some of the risk here, and then we don't take it, right? So or it did work out, and we were looking for it to work out. Okay, but we can really refine it in here, and we get really good at reading the order flow and the condition of the auction in here, and we can look for these to work out. Okay, so now what about this in here? Okay, this is tough. We're looking for the move in here, right? And instead we got one more push down below before it pushed back up. Yeah, that's a tough one, because if you're getting up in here, well, this is how you can handle it. If you're looking for it to work maybe here, that's not bad. That's not bad. You're getting kind of in the middle of the range and looking for it to work. You do see some buyers here. Now, one of the things that you can look for as well is the same thing with trapped volume, okay, or stop runs. Look for the trap first or the stop run first, then here you're looking for the move. All right. Okay, so in here, did we have that trap volume? Not really. This is why. Look at all of this in here. Not really, right? Now, it depends on the strength of the previous move here. Here's how you can start to filter some of these ideas in here. Do you see a strong momentum move in here? A strong impulse move? Not so strong, right? It's not bad for this time frame, like we mentioned, but it's not the strongest. Okay? Do we have trap traders in here? Not really. Now, if we did have that strong move in here, a lot of times you don't get that next trap. You just get buyers anyway. They don't. It doesn't matter. It's strong, right? So it's just kind of a bit of a break in the trading, and then it resumes. Right. So anyway, it depends on, like, if this move in here. Let's just try to outline it here. It's hard to go through all these scenarios, guys, but if this move in here was really strong, right? And then we get this kind of shallow pullback like this, we don't need to get this kind of trap here. We don't need it. We're just looking for buyers again, like up in here, to start going for the second move, okay, after just a bit of a lull. Because we know that there's a lot of buying interest. We're looking for that to start again. If we don't have that, okay, and I'm just going to have to clear all the drawings here. If we don't have that, we can look for maybe this to unfold in here. Okay? This is where we can really start to refine it based on the impulse move. What we're talking about here is not so much a flag pattern. Again, like I put the flag pattern in there for the setup so that we can understand what relate to what it is, but it's this that we want to understand. It is the momentum. It is the trap, and it is the momentum we want to understand. Okay, then we're just looking for a bit of a break, maybe a bit of a trap, a stop run, and buyers to come back in to continue with the momentum, right? So this is a way to start to filter it. Now, if you got in here, suppose, in here, and you start to take it back up, and maybe you put your stop down here, you got stopped out. You can always get back in, right? If you miss this and you're like, they stop ran it, you know, or they you know, we had some a test below the range in here, and then we see buyers come in. You can get back in, okay, and then look to what did we say? It was 82 was our first area, and then 83 and 84, right? But we're putting these pieces together, okay, from all of this behavior. This is the wind at our backs, right? And this works on all time frames. Okay, so Rob, and I'm not trying to pick on you, Rob. Just the reading here is to understand these strong moves. Pull back, strong move. That's what we're looking for. So let's take a look here. You marked up a chart, and let's give some feedback. All right, guys, we're going to do this on Thursday as well. We have a Bookmap Academy meeting, so we're going to give feedback on the users or Academy members on Thursday at market close. Strong impulse move. Okay, so that's good, right? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do see that you're looking at something else. Now, this is not the setup. This is your setup. You're looking at VPOC here, right? And then you're looking for your second impulse move. This one looks really good in here. I don't really see it as looking too good in here, to be honest. I know we mentioned exactly this area where it started to pick up, and then we had the kind of double bottom exhaustion in here. But this is the second impulse move, right? Now, there's a few things you don't have in here, though. You identify the strong move. That's excellent, Rob. There's no trap up here, though. Okay, there's no consolidation period that gives us the trap. Okay, so I'm just trying to just giving my feedback on this, right? And then we see the move into the bid liquidity in here, and then yeah, you got an impulse move. So you even saw it. You saw a smaller flag within a flag. It looks like, or no, I'm sorry, that would be this one here. Yeah, no. So identifying this, okay, that's good. I see the magenta rectangle here. Strong impulse move, pull back, strong impulse move. Yeah, this being tricky up here. Okay. Now, what would be really good to see is, and there was some liquidity in the book here on the smaller time frame. It wasn't all that great though. All right. So now, just to mention though, okay, this is really good, Rob. You're identifying the strong move. Okay, you want to go with the momentum, right? Look for shallow pullback, and in here it was kind of jumbled. This is strong buying in here. It just failed to move that market really much higher, and then we see the sellers come in, and then again we're looking at relative volume in here. This move and this strength compared to this one, and we were looking for testing up into here. Okay, so these were the elements we're looking for. Right now, identifying these things, this looks so much better, Rob. Identifying these elements on the chart is the first step. The next step is starting to develop the scenarios. Okay, what if? Right now, we're going off of the players and the behavior here, the order flow and the transactions and the market structure. If that is the case, then we're looking for the move back up into here. Okay, and we got it right now as we went through the grading process in here, and I know that we're trying to make it objective as we can. It is subjective though, but it comes with experience. You know, and it doesn't take much experience either. Like, you know, in a few days you could be judging these things. As long as you can mark them up on the charts, you can start to judge them, give them scores, and then look for the follow through. Okay, so again, what I'm talking about in here is not so much about the flag pattern. We're talking about momentum, and that will work on all time frames in all markets and serve you well for a long time to come. Okay, so identifying those moves, and looking for the follow through. Okay, so now what happened up in here? Look at the strong selling it came in. So again, look at this trap in here. So this will work also for now, start to understand breakout moves now too. Okay, selling also up in here, like from this point here, selling, buyers back up above it, trying to reach and trying to pull away now. Okay, so we got another flag pattern in here, right? Now, how strong is this move in here? It's not so strong. Okay, the volume looks pretty good, but it's not a strong move. Okay, so we are still looking for the second leg in here. What's the pullback look like? Yeah, you know, it's already been, well, now it's more than 50% of that move. All right, so we're not looking for it. May still do it. Okay, it's not on high volume in here, so it may still do it. But in terms of momentum, we just judged it. Okay, and we understand that this momentum in here is not that strong, and there's selling pressure that's coming in too. Now look at the retracement. We retraced all the way back to the breakout point. Okay, so again, understanding and identifying these players in here and starting to put these pieces together will give us something higher probability. Okay, and that's all here in the order flow. All right, so this is where you get into the trade management and execution part of like, do you want to take it? Is it strong enough? Okay, do you feel like you maybe this is the psychology part here of the fear of missing out? Well, if you're objective about your subject, you're objective about your setup, then and you graded it, well, then it's like the question is, can you execute or not? In this case, like we wouldn't have executed. Okay? We were looking for this move to unfold. Okay, it did, but it wasn't that strong. Right, and it looks picture perfect now in hindsight. It did it perfectly. That's your flag pattern. Here's your consolidation period, right? But it's just kind of lacking some details in here, right? And it worked out great, right? So, and then again, we're looking for potentially another one up here. Now look at it, right? We shied away from it. Well, this is not a strong move. The volume's not bad, but it's not a strong move. Then we're getting a pullback here. This pullback alone is like almost 50%. And then it started to do it here. Well, then it's off. It's off, right? We're not looking for it. Now, buyers, we still may find them buying off of this area in here, or maybe they're bidding up in here, and we don't get sellers. Well, we got sellers now. Okay, they traded back into the range now. Okay, so again, starting to identify the strength and the power of this move and the volume within it. Yeah, really commend you, Rob. Off to a great start with this. Okay, and then continue to keep it simple and make sure that the next step you take, that you can turn that into kind of foundational step. Okay, because otherwise what happens is, well, it did this and that one did that, and you add other things in there and you're going to get confused, and we don't want that. Okay, you want to be able to identify and know your setup. The simpler it is, the better it is. Right, and then that will lead you to your trading plan. Deborah, okay, so this is fascinating. I hope that this is helping, right? Use that checklist. Okay, this will be released pretty soon. I don't know when. Like I said, they just threw this together really quickly. I mean, we've got such good developers. And they just said, I said, hey, can we make something like this? And they said, yeah, here you go. Like, you know, some days later. But this is very easy for them to do. We'll get it more advanced, you know, import CSV files in here so you can put in whatever you want for your setup. So you can see that we're going to get to multiple setups in here. in your checklist. Make your own checklist, right? Pretty nice tool. Okay, so now that took some time to kind of judge this in here. But as we go through this process in here, you can do it on the fly, as well as like you'll just get good at it and start to understand if I want to take this or not. You'll know this after doing it for a few weeks. You'll know what you're looking for. Okay, then you have a setup. Okay, and then just get really good at it. Noah, can we look at the bigger picture? Absolutely. I haven't done that yet, and in fact, I keep avoiding that, not on purpose, but you can see it's been pretty choppy day here. A lot of back and forth in here. So let's take a quick look here. All right, so this is where we left off on the daily chart last week. We had covered this. Talk about momentum moves, guys. I thought these were really simple moves to grab. Why? Because we had fundamental data and we saw the reaction to that fundamental data by the players. They were buying. There is no question about it. And then it's just stick with the trade. This could have been an overnight hold on one of these. And again, we haven't. This is not a trade recommendation, or not a. It's not a a trading room in here. But when you start to understand that in the bigger picture that we have buyers responding to the FOMC as well as a non-farm, we're looking for the move. Okay, and we even noted it on the webinar on Friday that it had already moved a lot. We talked about ADR, not ATR, well, whatever. ADR, average daily range, or average true range for the day. Same thing. But it had already moved a lot, so it was still bullish activity. So we're still looking for it to go higher. However, not a whole lot higher, because number one is that it already moved a lot. There's only so much buying pressure before the market kind of needs to take a break and reassess and see if we'll find new buyers and new sellers. We also mentioned that this area of consolidation up in here, this back and forth, and where the sellers came in up here and moved this market lower, we're gonna see some profit taking up here. We may see sellers on this strong, powerful move to the downside. They may re-engage their sells. Anyway, can you guys see a nice flag pattern in here? There's actually, they're all over the place, but there's two in here actually. Let's just take a look at. Here, I'll zoom in a little bit more, and they're all kind of rather new. I have here. So let me just do the look back period. There we go. Yeah, let me try it with the bars. Okay. All right. Okay, so first off, we have a consolidation period up here, right? And then we have a break of that, and look at the strong volume and the strong move. Okay, down to here. Good place to take some profit, because this is where buyers came in and moved that market up. Okay, there's a flag in here as well. A consolidation period, breakout, pull back, strong move, pull back, strong move. Consolidation period, strong move, pull back, strong move. Okay, so there's two of them in there. And there's got to be one in here as well. I guess, strong move, pull back, strong move, and then it just continued. This is an island gap in here, but anyway, now we're look at the consolidation period. This is the hourly, this is the 15-minute chart in here, and this is the back and forth that we're seeing today. Okay, so it's already filled this gap that it gapped up a little bit, and it's already filled it. And I don't really see much going on in here right now at all. It's looking very sideways. Okay, there's wicks up here. There's some buying down here. So not really seeing much. Right, even the daily in here. Yeah, it's good. It still closed up here, or opened and closed up here within the wick. But it is an inside day so far. And we don't see enough buyers to try to lift this higher, even test. Hasn't really even tested the high here. It's kind of come close, but that's about it. All right, so Noah, does that work for you? Bigger picture. And now we've come back down here. We see these wicks here. Now we can look for see if we see some buying starting to come in here on the 15-minute chart. Okay, so if that is the case, let's take a look at momentum, because we'd look for the move right back up to the swing here at 87, 86 and a half. And if they can, and if we see that, then we should, because this will be the third attempt up here. We're looking for the buyers to try to take it higher at that point. Okay, and that is in line with the bigger move. Right, so let's take a look here. Boy, it's all over the place still. Okay, so nothing has really changed in here. We're just back in the middle of this range in here. And I'm getting our market pulse pinging here quite a bit. All right, so anyway, guys, I hope that helps. This is we'll title this webinar about momentum and I guess flag pattern or continuation patterns. Okay, it's really the flag pattern is not the magic. It's far from it. It's understanding the momentum. Okay, the strong buying, also the trap. Also developing scenarios like we did in here. We're looking for that scenario to work out. Okay, it did. And then we looked back and we went through our checklist and it wasn't even that good. Okay, but we got it. It worked out. And we did run into a hiccup in here, okay, for this move back down below. That's where, like, you'll have to play around with your execution. Okay, if this is not such a strong move, but you're still looking for it to, to come up into these areas in here, you can anticipate that this may happen. Now, if those buyers came in here and moved it higher, you would have missed it then. Okay, and you have to be okay with that. All right, so, and then you'd be looking for this in here. It looks even better here, but it's a little high. It's too far away, and the measured move is not that good up into 82. Okay, that's another question. Do you want to just get in here? And if so, your target would be here, and there's justification for that. Your stop could be down below here, right? Then you would have taken this, okay? And then you would have taken your first target up in here and try to hold and look for more out of it. All right, so the measured move worked out as well, more or less. All right, so anyway, based off of the previous behavior in here, how good does this look to put risk on? And then we went through multiple different scenarios in here. Okay, of what might unfold in here, right? And that should be helpful. Okay, going through those scenarios and then understanding and ascertaining the risk in here. Now, I would say, like, get used to, I mean, if you're new to understanding momentum in here, it's not a trade recommendation, but the more that you can play and the more that you can learn from it, the better. So if you got in like here or here, right, looking for that momentum move in here, and you got stopped out, okay, and I'm talking about in demo here, in sim, then you just learned, okay, well, this wasn't so strong, so this makes sense that this may happen. All right, and then you learn from it, and then if you missed it in here and didn't take it, well, then learn from that as well. Okay, so you know, you may I would say probably the fastest way to learn about the momentum and how to start to identify it is mark up your charts and don't take the trade. You can develop the scenarios, but don't take the trade. Have that flexibility in mind that you're not holding on to the trade idea. Okay, you can just say, I went through my scenarios. I'm looking for it to trade up into here. And that's that. And I would look for I would have been stopped out on this one. I would have been in on this one again though, or maybe even here, but this is too high, right? You'd have to have a strong bid underneath here to justify that. All right, and then pulling up in here. All right, so putting these pieces together and identifying it on the charts, and now you can look back and start to say, would I put risk on? Where would I put my stop? Where would my profit be? What's my risk reward ratio? Is it worth it? In a lot of these cases, it would not be worth it, so you would pass. Okay? In others, you're just looking for kind of a scalp, short time frame. Okay, based off of this understanding in the auction here. Caddy, I used to stream every day, but now it's 3 days a week for quite a while. Monday, Tuesdays, and Fridays. On Wednesdays, we have Jay Trader going over stocks, and then on Thursdays, we have Scott Pulcini. How would you use Bookmap and Market Pulse? That's a great question. I want to get into that as well. Yeah, let's answer that. Okay. Now, another thing to take a look at here. This is why I brought this up, and Rob in particular, why I brought up the back testing with Market Pulse in here. And we haven't even gone over stops and icebergs in here today. This is another, it's an add-on we put together that offers a pretty amazing confluence. Okay, we're looking for, we always look for a stop run to unfold in certain areas because of the trap volume that we identified down in here. Where are they holding on? Where are they going to get stopped out? Well, up in here above that swing, I would imagine. And we can look at it precisely and see that that's exactly where the stop run took place. That's what this is, what fueled this, help fuel it. All right. So stops and icebergs is an amazing confluence. It is a confluence though, right? It is not a signal. Now, Market Pulse, let's go over Market Pulse. Okay, and then how to bring this into as a confluence as well. Okay, into your trading. Now, I'm using volume pressure right now, and I've also got support and resistance in here. I believe there's a new algo in this as well for the support and resistance. Okay, yeah, it looks like I got it here. Hold on a minute. Okay, all right, so we can install this new one here. Excellent. I will close this one, add it. here. Guys, if you want access to Market Pulse, a lot of these new algos in here, you can get it for free and be, you know, using it to look for edges already. If you're interested in that, okay, let me show you where you go. You need to go to you need to sign up for the Academy. That's one of the things that you get as a Bookmap Academy member in here. Okay, so go to bookmap.com/academy, and then you'll scroll down and you can read about it in here, the different steps, and you can sign up here. It is free to sign up, and we go through your trades like we were going through Rob's earlier. Crash F16, I'll go through yours as well in just a minute. And then what you can do is get access to here. One of the benefits you get access to pre-release new products and add-ons. Because you're part of the Academy in here and you start creating content based off of it, we're happy to give it to you and hope that you can find an edge using it here. So, for example, I'm going to add in. I just downloaded the new one for Market Pulse here, and I'm going to add it in. Okay, it's already loaded. Sorry about that. 2. Okay, it looks like I need to, okay, the whole. All right. Add. Okay, this is under test phase. Okay, so now this is not even beta here, so just so you guys know. All right, so let's add a new one in here. We'll do the support and resistance. And that can work on multiple markets in here, as you can see. And let's also turn on the volume pressure in here. So we got 2. Excellent. All right. And it's also in the subchart here. So anyway, I'm just going to go through, we'll go through the support and resistance one in just a second, but I want to go through the volume pressure one, which is this one over here on the right hand side, this small little widget, and the readings in here. Okay, so this is where you can start to back test and look for getting an edge out of some of these add-ons in here. Very simply, okay, do you have an edge in here? Here's the extreme value. It went above the 70% threshold right here, and it went green in these little peaks in here. Down below went red in these little areas down here. Now, here we go, right? To move to the upside in here. And we just heard it pinging as well. Okay, now, a lot of times you'll see these as being stop runs in here. And you get these moves, and then you sometimes, like especially in a trend, in a sideways market, you can look to fade these, but you need to do your back testing. Okay, did you get a good reading up in here? Well, you know, this one's a little harder because you do get it, but it's right around in here, and then you got to retest back up here, and you do not get that extreme reading. Okay, and then it's a good sell. And then look at the sells down in here. Well, these look pretty good, right? So we're trending up. If you get a sell reading, maybe that's a good area to get in. Okay, at the bottom of a range in here, you see extreme reading, and it's against the trend in here. Okay, so this is where you can just look for like areas in here, and then you get another extreme reading on the buy side up at the top of the range. So if you're trading ranges, for example, well, first you got to know your order flow, but you can add this in as a confluence. Okay, that gives you some insight in here. Continue with your back testing. right? Try different settings in here. Try to get something out of it. This is something that you can very easily add into your setups. Okay, and then it's up to you if you want to continue with it or not. So for example, let's take that flag pattern. Stick with the checklist. That is a separate study, okay, a momentum trade. Now take that same data from that momentum trade and make a copy of all of it, and then add in the market pulse, volume pressure. Do I get an edge? And do I get something more out of it? So now you have two different back-tested studies in here. Okay, they're very similar, but there's a difference. Okay, that way you still have your original one, and you have not made it too complex, because now you have two, and you can disregard one of them. All right, or maybe you play around with another setting and make three different momentum strategies. Okay, how to integrate? How is this tool helping you? Is it giving you an edge? All right. Let me see. Crash. F16. Price makes morning move, down fills the gap, liquidity zone with market pulse info. Excellent. Just excellent. Let's take a look here. Oh, you got a couple now. You just posted another one. Okay, let's go through your other one first. First one here. Right. Okay. So yeah, here's your gap fill. Okay. Oh, you're looking at the support and resistance on the NQ here. Right. Now these are mine down here, guys. Let me take them back off. Okay. Yep. Price coming down. Icebergs. Icebergs up in here. Yep. Looking for your retest. Yeah. Okay. So you're looking at some different things in here. With that same idea that we had about our flag pattern or continuation pattern. Yeah, and you're reading the divergence in here. This is really good. I love it. So here you have your extreme reading, and here, down here, you have your divergence. Okay, very clearly. Just not enough sellers in here willing to take this lower. You're not getting a move into this high liquidity in here. That's where you can start to look for your buyers to come in on the other side in here. Okay, so you would have gotten in early on this one. Was this 82 up here? Yeah. Okay. So no, around the same area we were kind of looking, I think, as well as what it looks like. Well, we missed the first move, and then we're looking for the second move, right? So you might have gotten in and captured both. The move up, take some off here, and then you can splice back in for the move back up. Yeah, beautiful stuff. I really like the divergence reading in here. Yep, yep, good stuff. All right, and let's take a look at the other one that you have here. Okay, and you're looking at some other correlations. Yeah, this is another tool. It's so good for correlations, this market pulse. Really like it for the correlated markets. So you're just looking at NQ. Oh, here you're actually trading NQ as well. Okay. Yeah, we have actually the market pulse tool works on sweeps and absorption as well. your extreme, you got your divergence in here as well. Interesting divergence here. This is opposite divergence. You got a higher price action here, but you got your more extreme reading here. Okay, but the sellers, in this case, the sellers can't bring it down lower, right? It was the complete opposite divergence before. You can look for your buyers to come back in, right? Now it came back and retested that area, and then again, look at your buyers to come back in. All right, sellers aren't able to move that market. Great readings on Market Pulse. Yep. Yep. And no, so you can put together like a strategy by understanding the order flow at some of these extremes and the Market Pulse readings. Excellent. Yeah, and clearly it's offering you an edge. Yeah, yeah. Rob, again, like, so you said, nice, you hadn't thought about the divergence on the Market Pulse subchart. Absolutely. Like, this is where, like, you start to understand some of these things. Glad you like the tool. Yeah, I really like it as well. Start to understand some of these elements in here. Rob, I would just really stick with just keep these ideas in your head, or I'm sorry, learn about these new things, but don't let them divert you away. Stick with your plan. Okay, if you want to study momentum and that's what you like, then stick with it. Notice and have some of these other ideas kind of kick around in your head, right? And then maybe do separate studies on them. But you need the discipline. Don't look at all things at once here. Okay, look at strong moves only. Identifying strong moves. And look at this in here. What is it telling us? This is where we left off on the flag pattern over here, right? Okay, well, here's strong move here. And then kind of equally strong, almost. It's a little bit less of a move to the downside here. So where does this leave us here in terms of momentum? It leaves us nowhere. We don't know. Right? Now, we can look at the price action. Yeah, we made a higher high, higher low. Okay, lower high now. Okay, and equal low in here, at least to these swings. So we're really kind of not left with anything. Right? Now, this is where you can look for maybe your range-bound trades. Okay, so in terms of momentum, well, I don't really see much. The momentum was here, and the sellers brought it right back down below it here. Right? We were, yeah, that's right. We were actually looking for maybe this being a potential flag pattern or continuation of momentum up in here. Okay. Well, here's where it told us it didn't work. Buyers, sellers, exhaustion, sellers, back down. Okay, and then look at sellers below our range in here. We kind of marked it up here, but it's actually here. And the sellers brought it right back down. Yeah, it's really the key here is you need to quantify and qualify something, Rob. Don't be distracted by all these different things. Okay, stick with just the strong moves and a shallow pullback. Just stick with that. Right? And then you can look for it to play again and again and again. All right, so let's go back and take a look at Market Pulse, and then we get back to some of the questions in here. Also, slow down here. I think it's correct that SR combines not only the amount of liquidity, its approximation. Yes, it does. It's weighted. I'll go through that. Yeah, and I just downloaded a new one. So let's go over it. Yeah, how to use this widget. Okay, so is this one here? Okay, so this one here is the volume pressure VP right here. This one says SR, which is support and resistance, which might be changed to like pull stack or something like that. And what is it showing? It gives actually 4 readings in here. In fact, let me even close right now, volume pressure. Okay, we'll just go over support and resistance. And now this one is new, right? So just so you guys know, it should give us some enhanced readings in here. Where I had some problems with it before, it was giving some odd readings, and now it's giving us 4 different readings, and it should, okay, because there's 4 different extremes in here. Okay, you see the sellers is negative number, that means they're pulling on the offer, and it's a dark red. Okay, so that's what we're reading in here. And they're adding on the bid, and it's a positive number, and it's a light green or a bright green. Right now, that'll flip. We'll see that this will turn bright red and it'll be a positive number. That means they are adding on the offer. Okay, and then if this turns into dark green, then it is yeah, like it is. See the flip right there. Okay, so now they're pulling on the bid. It's not, none of them are extreme. The threshold is a 70% right here. Okay, this little white line in here, and we do not see it crossing it right now. Okay, here it crossed it. Okay, and we see that there was more selling on the offer. Well, that's a good reading. Gave us pretty good reading here. Here, there's a dark red in here. This is what the developers did. They made it a dark red. It's kind of hard to read. It's dark red down here. So that means they're pulling, right? That's good. That's what we want to see. Okay, pulling up in here. So if they're pulling on the and we see strong buyers in here, yeah, we're looking for it to come up and test in here. Okay, they're pulling on the offer. Right now, we didn't get much buyers in here to move this. Okay, now they're adding on the bid. Okay, and we're at the top of this little range in here. These are the scenarios to go through. Now, again, like I don't see anything really high probability here right now, but let's just go through it. You'd look for a bottom of the range in here to test. Okay, because they're adding here and they're pulling on the bid. We're just looking for sellers to trade back down to the bottom of the range here. As simple as that. Okay, it's a simple idea. Okay, maybe this is the bottom of the range. Maybe it's this range here. Okay, so now we can use this and go through also some scenarios in here. I would look for the bottom of this range. Okay, and I would stop at that. Now it's going to the bottom of the second one here, and we don't know that's going to happen, right? I just don't see enough trapped buyers in here to justify the move to the second bottom of the range here. Okay, it did it, but we found some sellers able to drive that market lower. Okay, so these are the use case scenarios in here. Now we have, look at them pulling on the bid here and still adding on the offer here. Great. Okay, bottom of this range and maybe continuation now, 81 and 80, right? They're still doing it, right? So now we're just looking for more sellers. Okay, now let's go through the settings in here. Slow down. This is what your question was about. We can open multiple in here, and we're going to do that in just a second. Let me go through the settings though. First, they're all very similar in terms of settings. This one is more complex. There's 4 outputs here, the 2 different colors, and then positive and negative values for each buyers and sellers. Okay, 4 different outcomes. Now, all of the Market Pulse tools use the training period. You can play around with this and do whatever you like, right? Try the different settings, see what you can find, and then just hit apply. Okay, so I'm just going to continue on with the 5 minutes. This means that it's a continued 5 minutes worth of data sliding. So always this calculation for Market Pulse for this algo support and resistance is always based off of 5 minutes of data, continuous 5 minutes of data. That's it. Now the half-life period means that this is kind of like the retracement. If there's, let's suppose like there was an output of like I don't know, let's just say 200, okay, on the sell side here, and nothing changed in the order book, no changes whatsoever. In 10 seconds here, it's going to change due to the half-life period. It will start to retrace back to 0. Okay, in this case, it's every 10 seconds. So that 200 reading that we had earlier, in 10 seconds, if nothing else changes in that market, it will now be 100. In another 10 seconds, if nothing changes in the order book, then it's going to be another 10 seconds will pass and it will be 50 now instead of 100. So that's how it works with the half-life period. Now, there's an extra input here. The half-life period of the interval. This is based off of 4 ticks. This is going on the vertical now in terms of points. It's based, the input right now is 4. That means it's basically 1 S&P point or 4 ticks. Those 4 ticks are the most important ones. The next 4 after that are going to be half of the importance as the first 4. Okay, and then the 4 after that will be based off of those half of the previous 4. Right, so that's how it works, and that way it's kind of like an exponential moving average or something. Like the current book has the most weighting. Okay, so I like the default one of 4, and it seems to be working pretty well for me. I really like this one, this add-on here, this algo, and I think it has tremendous value, potential value here that we just need to continue to play around with. I'm going to add a new one in here, and I'm going to make it support and resistance again. Okay, and then we're going to go to settings here, and I'm going to bump this up. Okay, I'm going to use 32. Now let's go to 16. Let's go to 16. Okay, so the first 16 are the most important. Okay, that's what it means. All right, and let's click on play. And I'll put that one over here on the left-hand side. No, on the right-hand side. Okay, so the first one here is based off of 4, and the next one is based off of 16. So the first 16 have the most weighting. All right, so basically now we're looking at kind of a bigger book and a smaller book. Okay, the bigger book one is the one off of 16. Okay, so the first 16 levels in here, the first 4 points, have the most importance. Okay, so we can look at a book skew on kind of a higher time frame and a lower time frame. Right, and we can read both of them in here and try to get some insight. Okay, this is odd. This is a potential bug in here. Hold on. Yeah, I'm getting kind of both output as I want to see them separate. Yeah. All right. So there should be another 2 in here. There's not. I guess what we can do is go back to this one and do not show it in the subchart. Can I add it into subchart here? All right. All right, that's too bad. Well, we can do though is let's come back in here and just turn on the subchart here. The 4. All right, so the output will still be 4 here, but we're going to listen to and look for the reading on the 16 one here. Okay, so the bigger book and smaller book. Book skews on different levels in here. Okay, smaller one pulling, adding on the bid. So looking for buyers in here, and this, if we get them, then they should be able to move it back up into about 86. Right. Okay, now look at the bigger book in here. Bigger book is telling us something else. Okay, so are we going to get that move now? So do we have a higher probability of that move? No, we have two conflicting books here. Okay, so this is how this can help. Like if we had both aligned in here, oh boy, yeah, we're looking, all we need is some buyers in here. This is going higher. Okay, it's more likely to go higher. Okay, let's see if they align here. Look for that alliance. When they're aligned, then we're looking for the move. Okay, it looks like it's pretty good now, starting to kind of shift and change. Just need a bit more buying up here, and then we're looking for buyers to take it up into these levels of liquidity. Okay, well, now it's flipped, and we're getting confusion in here. Okay, or they're not aligned basically. And we didn't get buyers up in here, right? So yeah, we don't really have something aligned. And if we don't get that alignment, then we're not looking for the move. Okay? We need to see big buying up here, and we need to see these book skews here to both be aligned. Okay, inside market and then bigger picture market as well. Yeah, now they're pulling in the smaller time frame or less points in the book, and yeah, it's still not aligned. So let's see, slow down. With the half-life interval, does that negate or reduce the usefulness of combining NQ? Yeah, that's a good question. Well, you can just you can make the NQ. Well, yeah, it's a good question in here. No, I think the because you can combine these as well, right? So if I right click on here and go to settings, you can make I can click on. Oh wow, sorry guys, it looks like I even forgot to do this. This is not the S&P. Now it's the S&P. Okay, for our 16 book. Okay, so sorry about that. Now we're looking at the proper alignment or the proper symbols here. What you can do though, you can see you can add in NQ and ES in the same symbol, and it's going to read both books. It's going to be based off of the ticks. So that's how it's going to work. Now I'm getting my output here. This is correct. That was my error, user error here. Sorry about that. Let's come back in here. No, we got to come back in here and look for. All right. So we'll keep this one the same. We'll come back in here and let's take away. All right. So here, now we're reading. The output here is based off of the 16 tick levels being most important. Yeah, slow down. I know that they were also looking at not only tick value but also dollar value. So I'm not, because your NQES is a good question. I'll have to ask about that. I know that that's how they were trying to do it before. It has to be based off the currency value, not the actual ticks. I'm not sure about support and resistance though. All right, but what you can do is you can definitely change the values in your NQ. No, you cannot. No, you cannot. Yeah, you're stuck with it. All right, I'll have to get back to you. All right, now we do have alignment. Look at this. We're at the bottom of the range, starting to find some buyers. We have a book and balance on both. Okay, so we're looking for buyers in here now to try to trade it back up to top of the range. Okay, do we see enough buyers in here? Do we have trap volume in here? Okay, we're not looking at the order book here in the heat map. We're looking at the order book here off of these two algos in here. Okay, there's no extreme reading in them yet. Okay, but we do have pulling on the bid, or I'm sorry, pulling on the offer, adding on the bid. All right, so we're looking for coming back up here, buyers, and we want to hear extreme reading would be great. They are aligned right now. Okay, so we're looking for our buyers in here, and we have a higher chance of this working out if we have the book on our side. So let's try to get the order book up here. Now they're flipping. It's flipping. Okay, well, we never got our buyers. So, I mean, these are some strategies, again, to back test. And this is all new stuff in here. Okay, now, let's see if we can get some buyers in here in alignment, again, in these two different book stacks. Okay, the bigger book and the smaller book. Inside market and the larger book. Do have a little bit of trap volume in here. It's not much. Okay, actually, the trap looks better on the buy side in here, to be honest. So let's see if we get sellers down here at the bottom of this range. All right, so now we got our buyers. Okay, the books are aligned. Okay, all right, buyers. Then we need more buying in here to try to lift it. Now we haven't gotten extreme readings in here though. In this book alignment here, and we need that. We want to hear it in Market Pulse. You guys will hear it in YouTube. Okay, and we didn't get we got some buying up here, actually more selling now. Okay, again, book alignment. Okay, now we got our buyers. All right, buyers should be able to lift this. Okay, it's not a trade recommendation. We're just going off of these inputs as well as buyers in here. So we're looking for them to lift it up into the high of the range here. Okay, this is something to back test. Okay, see the book flip again in here. And we did get an extreme reading, or we heard it cross the threshold. All right, now we're getting the exact opposite. And I actually like the, to be honest, I like the buying trap here a lot more. To look for the sellers to drop it down into 80 here or lower, right? Here's why. I mean, we just didn't see quite enough buying compared to to be a trap to come up to the top of the range in here. And maybe it's doing it now. Maybe this is enough selling for that trap. And book is still aligned on both sides. Sellers, I think the sellers are going to move it now. Should be able to move it back down into 79. Yeah, I like 79 and also this 77 level. Okay, sellers run this guy over here at 80 and 3/4. Take them on and trade lower. Let's see if they can do it. We got the book on our sides. Both books, or inside market and bigger market. Now they're pulling, looks even better. And now it's flipping a bit. Okay, we got a lot of buyers though in here for a small trap. It's not a whole lot. It is a small trap, and looking for the squeeze to the downside here. This is why, like I had mentioned, like we think it's so important is to identify who's got it wrong in these scenarios, right? Whereas before we said like, yeah, you know, we're looking at these two books and we see some buyers come in, but we didn't really have sellers upended in a trap. It was kind of weak. Would be basically just this little bit of selling in here, and it's not enough. And we got a lot more here, and we got the sellers now they're able to move it outside the range. Still pulling. We're getting a pulling reading here and adding on the bid. Still pulling, and okay, this looks good. I'm looking for our sellers now, and we're not getting them, right? We got the books, but we're not getting our sellers. We're getting buyers. All right, so it negates the whole thing, right? So again, we're using this tool to try to align order book with volume, okay, and two different readings on the order book in here. And we're just not getting much out of it right now. We're getting like kind of some vague readings. Only a few times in here did we have the sellers along with the book flip on both sides here, or a book alignment. Okay, again, we can go through these scenarios again in here. Look at this one, right? We have some trap buyers in there if we can get in here. Or is it going to be these sellers that are trapped, right? So we'll get our answer right in here. Okay, right now, we're not seeing the book we want to see. I'm going to change the reading in here 16. I'm going to go even higher here. I'm going to go to 20, or I guess 32 is the next one, and we'll hit apply. So you guys can see this could even work for some swing trading in here if you're looking at your order book. It's reading the entire order book as well. All right, well, you know, as far as this goes, like I cannot wait to hey Vac, market pulse tools available for everybody until yeah, only Academy members right now, Vac, and Yeah, exactly what Alois is saying. Like the price change algo is free for all. I think looks like until January 31st. But the as the Academy members, like there is no cutoff period at right at this time. So you join that Academy and you want access to this, then let us know. Now, the first thing you need to do if you sign up for that Academy is go to the web page here, bookmap.com/academy. Make sure you read through and understand what you're getting involved in here. It's all free, and all you have to do is download a spreadsheet and start to record your trades or your activity in here. Very much like the other images that you see out there about identifying order flow. And then that will start you off the right direction. If you get really good at this, you can move your way up the Academy and get Bookmap for free. Anyway, so the first thing you do after you sign up, you're going to get an email and it's going to tell you to go into our Discord and request your spreadsheet. Okay, that's an important and necessary step. We need to have you both captured in Discord as well as our email CRM. Okay, because we're not going to really communicate very much via email. We're going to communicate mostly in Discord. All right, I still like it. Sell aside. Look at the book. I see both books are kind of aligned. We're getting our sellers, looking for the sellers to now drop it. Just drop it into high liquidity, 79, 78. And maybe we can get down to 75 here. Okay, the book's flipping again. So there we go. All right, book. Yeah, it's back and forth here in the book. But it seems to still be pulling on the bid and adding on the offer. So, and we're getting our sellers here. So I'm looking for these sellers to drop it. Okay, you can see what's going on here, you volume profile guys. Look at the big profile in here. We need to see a lot of selling to drive it away from this area here. Okay, they're starting to show up, but we need to see follow through on that sell side. Else, this is going to be another potential trap on that by sellers. Yeah, I mean this is an odd day in here. Look at how they just pulled across here, right? So, and you can read it here in the market pulse. So they pulled all across the board in here, and then we're starting to find some buyers. Okay, so this could be another nice range-bound trade, actually. We'll see. Anyway, this is one of the scenarios here to play around with this order book, and then bring in. Also, let's close. We'll close the small book inside order book, and then we'll look at market pulse in here for volume pressure. Here it is. Okay. So let's see if we get volume pressure coming in. Try to move this market. And let me follow up with other questions in here. Yeah, no, this will be helpful. I mean, since we control the whole book here, I mean, this is total depth of market. It means like all of these levels in here, if I zoom, you can see there's one contract up here at 52.50. Right, and then there's like 14 and 10 down here at 32.50. 14 at 32.50. You know, that's like over 1,000 points away. Right, this is all live. Okay, so it's the whole book. If you want to do that, you can boost up the output here and look for more swing trades. Let's see, as far as I can go here on the half-life period, I can go back up to, yeah, I can go up to 1,000. Okay, let's click apply. Let's see what it does. So we're looking at a massive order book imbalance here. We're getting our sellers, guys. They're starting to come in. So, and it's pretty good selling in here. We're not seeing much of a movement though, right? So be careful with this. It's not, we need to see that commitment of the sellers driving it away from this whole value area that is today. It has that kind of B-shaped profile. So, most likely we'll get the move to the downside. More transactions at the bottom here. Looking for that to unfold, and we're looking for that order book to help us here. And you can see, look at how well balanced the book is, really. It's amazing. And I doubt it, with that amount in the order book here, I doubt we're going to get over 70%, but we may see some skews in here, really big skews. All right, looks like I'm caught up in the questions. Yeah, Abby, I think it could be a total game changer in here. These market pulse algos. There's certain things like it can read all of these levels so quickly, right? And then the output is really clean and clear, and that can be kind of difficult sometimes in the heat map, where you might see it like a book skew on the offer here, but not much on the bid. But you see on the bid down here, there's high liquidity. So there's subtleties that this will offer in here that's kind of hard to pick up by the naked eye. All right, and let me go over to Crash F16's got one more. Take a look at here. Yeah, it's been pretty choppy at these levels in here, but you can give the nod to the sellers in here. We saw that in the profile as well. It's just, look at the sell moves though. It's just not convincing, right? Not convincing. Bigger picture. Yeah, not convincing at all either. This market's just kind of a little rudderless actually. And if that doesn't tell it, yeah, you can see the skew to the downside. All right, guys. Well, anyway, let's wrap it up. Thanks for coming, everybody. Yeah, please hit the like button if you like this kind of content. We'll go over more and more of it. And yeah, your feedback in here in the chat. Like, what more do you want to see? I really wanted to focus on and give you guys something about that setup in here about the momentum, right? We saw a lot of a few examples in here looking for that momentum, and they weren't the greatest in here, but they worked out. Okay, so going through our checklist of looking for the flag or the strong move, pullback, strong move, that's what we're looking for, and identifying it, and then if we get those strong moves in here, that's what we're looking for it to play out, right? Like, again, we can identify, did we get strong volume in here? Yeah, we did, right? But did we get a strong move? No, we didn't. Okay, so is this something you want to put your money on? No, it's not higher probability. Strong move, upended, buyers coming in, back, retest back up here. So our pullback has been even more than 100% of that move. Okay, so you can actually look for the opposite. Potentially, now you're looking for buyers up in here around this 80.5 level. And then you can look at all of this in here as being a trap. Okay, and then we can get a really nice move back up into here. Okay, that's a potential scenario. Okay, and it still fits within, it can come all the way back up into 86 in here. And the swing up here. So these are some of the things to take a look at and identify the trap, the strong moves, and the strong volume behind it, and the order book as well. TK, it's hard to put all these different timestamps in there, but I hear you. Yeah, we're kind of, it's hard in the sense that we kind of take what the market gives us, right? So yeah, anyway, because to have an agenda in here to go through can be kind of challenging in live analysis of the market. All right. Anyway, guys, yeah, thanks for coming, everybody. And let's do it again tomorrow. And let me know, over in Discord, what do you want me to go through? What kind of resonates with you? We'll tighten it up. Maybe specific studies, maybe specific market pulse studies as well. I do encourage you to sign up for that Bookmap Academy so you can get free access to this, and start documenting your trade activity and your order flow. Okay, that is how you're going to get much better. Rob has made some huge steps here. Crash F16, slowdown, Stan, many others in here are doing a fantastic job. Okay, and then once we start to identify some of the elements on the chart, you can look for these scenarios to unfold. Right, just like this one is starting to unfold here. Do we have all the pieces even in this move here? No, we don't. Okay, we're looking for our big volume dots. We're getting that, but we're also seeing a lot of supply here in the order book. So that's not good. But we start to identify these players in here, and then we can look for these potential moves. Thanks for coming, everybody, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Good trading.